Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I'm with you with the area of ABFM. Till now, we had been working towards the area of ABFM till the era of startup finance, right? We started with the era of startup finance, in which we have covered a major part. We have covered the basic information starting from the schemes which are there to the next point that we talked about was the era of then we talked about the era of schemes, then we talked about the era of fire and other awards which were there in this era, right? Then we have covered multiple things in this era already. So when we talk about all these areas altogether, that we talk about advanced business and financial management, then today we'll be continuing further. We have also talked about the exemptions in our class as well. The exemptions were of income tax, right? The exemptions were related to the income tax department, right? The income tax has given the exemptions under section 56 to 7B. So this would be working according to this. Okay. Now, comes the first question. There is an assertion and there is a reasoning given regarding it. The involvement of domain experts from academia and industry is essential for the selection committee. The domain experts can provide valuable insights and guidance in evaluating startup problems. So, what is correct and what is wrong in this? Both the assertion and reasoning are true, then both are true, but that is not correct, or the assertion is true, but reasoning is false, or the assertion is false, but the reasoning is true. What would be the correct answer? When we talk about the domain experts, they are really helpful in terms of working as these domain experts are going to help us in terms of expertise or niche in that particular area itself. Matlab, he has got a lot of importance in his particular area. So that means whenever we are asking him regarding a specialized area, he will turn out to be the most important and valuable person. But yes, they are not people who are from the entire working altogether. They are really working towards only a specific part of it, not the entire part. So that's why one thing is definitely there, that when we talk about these domain experts are limited towards the area that they are working upon. So in this case, what's correct? In this case, both the points are correct. That means domain experts are included and domain experts can provide insights. That is true. So in this case, both the assertion and reasoning are true, and reasoning is correct explanation of the assertion. Okay, here comes the next question, assertion and reasoning. The Startup India Seed Fund Scheme aims to support entrepreneurs who are at the ideation and proof of concept stages. The selection committee composition reflects the need for a diverse set of expertise to evaluate early stage startup proposals. So when we talk about Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, this particular scheme is really helpful towards the area of our are organizations which have just made up. That means this is still in the idea form. They haven't turned into a productive organization or something yet, but yes, it is in the idea form right now. And any organization which is in the idea form right now, then they need money. You know, they need money to start up their business. They need money to do the research on these things as well. So that is why they are looking forward towards the Startup Seed India Fund. It supports all these which are in the ideation and proof of the concepts. The selection committee composition reflects the need of diverse set of expertise. The point is, when we talk about the selection committee will never have one specific person only. Think about it, if there is only the people who are related to the area of the basic studies, then what will happen? The people who are related to only say law, or there is someone who's related only towards the area of the, let's say they are only in the industrial area. So how will we find out whether the particular person is still working well or not? You know, to find out whether the particular person is going good or not, we need to find out whether they are, the organization or that business is totally or overall it is better or not. So in this case, the answer would be both are true, or reasoning is correct explanation, or both assertion and reasoning are true, but reasoning is not correct, or the assertion is true, but reasoning is false. Assertion is false, but the reasoning is true. In this case, the correct answer would be both are true. Both of these are correct. Okay? Now comes the next question. Which of the following is not the step of selection process for startup applying for the seed fund scheme? When we talk about the seed fund, seed is what? Seed is basically the smallest form of plant. है ना? Before the plant comes out, it is in the form of a seed only, which stays below the level of soil. So when we talk about startup organizations, this is something which is below the level only. So when we talk about these kind of organizations, the seed is basically the smallest or the initial level, I would say, in terms of the working. Okay, when they talk about the seed fund scheme now, seed fund is basically helping them in terms of their idea generation, because normally in terms of idea generation it becomes very difficult to find a suitable way of working, isn't it? So that would be the point in this area altogether. चलिए, now let's move on towards the next point. Online application submission on the Startup India Hub, evaluation by the Incubation Selection and Monitoring Committee, selection based on lottery system, detailed review of the startup team business model, and more. When we talk about the seed fund scheme, it is based upon the area of selection based on lottery system. This kind of step is definitely not there. Think about giving an opportunity to start up on the basis of a lottery system. Can we do that? This would mean that the organization is not going towards a scientific way. And if your money goes into the wrong hands, it will cost a lot of problems towards the organizations which are supporting the startup funds. So selection based upon the lottery system is definitely not there. This is something which is not there at all. Acha, now comes the criteria does the ISMC consider when evaluating startup applications for the seed fund scheme? What is the idea that they're looking forward to? Market demand, technical feasibility, and intellectual property. Number of team members, project utilization plan, customer profile, regional location, competition analysis, and revenue projection. Social impact, product uniqueness, and market strategy. What criteria does ISMC consider when they are looking forward towards evaluating the startup applications? See, once you are looking forward towards giving them help now, you will always look at the fact that how are we working on these things? Okay, how are we working towards the entire area altogether? What is our procedure or working towards such an scenario that the, because you are giving money to them, ISMC will give them money, it will give them the support they're looking forward to help them grow further into a proper business. So for that, even it has to check now whether the organization has the potential to grow further or not, isn't it? So in this case, what is that particular thing they're looking forward to? They would look forward to the market demand of the product. They will look at the technical feasibility. If I am saying that I will create a magic hoverboard, so hoverboards earlier were not there. Now the hoverboards have been added, but there is nothing like it is flying again against the gravity at a very high place, and you are using it on a regular basis. The cost is would be very high. How are we going to provide those kind of products in the market? And I intellectual property. Acha, the if I made something really cool, so I would always try that whatever I have made, that particular product should be patented. For example, if you have seen fidget spinners, the person who created the fidget spinner didn't get it patented. So just because of this, she couldn't get the money of the popular product she created. So that is the problem, that if you create a unique product, you should get it patented. And IPR is basically, if anybody else wants to use those particular technologies, those particular things, you will generate business from through that, because you will generate money through that. That's the power of this specific area altogether. Okay, so in this case, that would be the point. Okay. Now comes the next pointer. How long does ISMC have to finalize the selection of startups for Seed India Fund after receiving their application? 30 days, 45, 60, or 90? How many days would it take, everyone? 30 days, 45, 60, or 90. In this case, they will take 45 days for the startups that are selected. They'll have to start with their working. Okay? They have to finalize their selection within 45 days, whether they have looked forward to the particular person or not. This is good. Even 45 days is around 1.5 months. That means in this case, the clarity will come that whether we are looking forward towards the scenario of giving the particular startup the funding or not. Okay. Now comes, how is the seed fund distributed to selected startups for the development of prototype or product testing? What would be the answer? How is the seed fund distributed? How do we give them? Is it in lump sum money, or by lottery system, or stage tied predetermined milestone, or through equity investments? See, the startup fund scheme has been helping all these organizations, but how are they helping? Are they giving them money directly, or are they investing in their equity shares? What are they doing? When we talk about angel funds as well as the venture capitalists, both of them are doing this only. If you go through the angel and investment funding, na, you will always find they are giving them money in this way only. Acha, let me just edit this question. This is point D, through equity shares. Okay? What they do is they will release. See, if the seed fund scheme releases the money all together right away, what will happen? If they release so much amount of money all together right away, this would be a bigger problem for them. So to cater this problem, they will create in stages tied to predetermined milestone. They will create milestones that if this milestone is done, this milestone is done, this is done, then we will release this amount of money. So that amount of money would be based upon the scenario there. That means till the time you are done with one milestone, then the next amount would be released, then the next amount would be released. It would be based upon this scenario exclusively. What type of agreement must be made between the incubator and the selected startup before the disbursement of seed fund? A verbal agreement, a handshake agreement. Okay, this is something that we can say this is already out. Verbal agreements are allowed in our country, do you know? But verbal contracts are legal contracts, but the point is who will prove it? The legally binding agreement with the terms of milestones or no agreement is required. According to you, what kind of agreements would be helpful for them ultimately? Go ahead and answer, everyone. Chaliye, let's look at the answer as well. I hope I'm audible clearly, everyone. Chaliye, now let's look at the answer. The correct answer here is they are looking forward towards legally binding based upon milestone. When they are going to release money on this basis, they will make sure that they are not giving you any false hopes as well. When the startups are making their work in this way now, they will make sure that these organizations are able to generate money for sure. But their money generation is based upon the fact that they are done with milestones. You are clearing the first milestone that they talked about, because sometimes the organizations have also been doing frauds. We have got a very good idea, we want to look forward towards the idea, but they are not working on those ideas yet. So what will happen in this case? They will look forward towards the working all together in such a way that their questions and their targets, they are not materializing it. Till the time they are not materializing their targets, the organization will have to wait towards the release of funds. Okay? So that would be really helpful for the ISMC and the startup seed fund scheme, so that every organization which is getting the money is getting because they are generating that kind of flows. Okay? Then what is debt financing in context with startup funding? Debt means loans, selling equity shares in exchange for capital, borrowing money and paying it back to the interest, obtaining funds from angel investors and receiving financial incentives without repayment. When we talk about it, what is debt financing? Debt financing is basically the financing system under which we are saying that we are taking loans from others. And then we'll say, okay, sir, in future we'll give you the money back. In this case, our ownership is not compromised at all. So in this case, the correct answer is borrowing money and paying it back with interest. In equity financing, what do startup change for the capital provided? Collateral, ownership shares, government grants, or promissory notes? In equity financing, what do startup change for the capital provided? Collateral, ownership shares, government grants, or promissory notes? When we talk about equity financing, this is giving up your ownership. Equity means owner. You are giving your ownership shares to the other person. Since you want that you need funds, so you'll say you also become a partner in my organization. So then we are asking the other person to become a part of our organization too. Then what will happen? For the whenever they're providing the capital, we'll say, "Ki, sir, since you are providing the capital to us, we would want that we shall give you the money in this form." Okay. Okay. Now, what would be the next answer in this case? The answer here is ownership shares. Next point. Which of the following is characteristic of grants in startup financing? They require repayment with interest. Grants can be obtained from venture capitalists. Grants do not involve sharing ownership, or grants are usually provided by the banks. Which of the following is the characteristics of the grants there? They require repayment with interest. See, if you are looking forward towards the grants, there is till the time there is no debt, why would there be such a need? You know? Then grants can be obtained from venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are basically someone who are looking forward towards ownership only. They are like, if I get the ownership of this particular thing, which I feel has a potential to grow further, that would be way better. Grants is basically you are just helping the other organization. You are not trying to get ownership over it. Okay, so we can say there is no ownership transfer. Grants are usually provided by banks. That is not true. Even the governments are also helping others. So in this case, I can say the first is wrong, the second is wrong, third is correct. So grants do not involve the sharing ownership. Okay. So this was the last question for the day. So before we proceed further, I think I have got a few more questions. I'll be discussing that as well. So let's talk about the bootstrapping as well. What do you mean by bootstrapping, everyone? How do we define the term bootstrapping? But there are certain terminologies in finance, like bootstrapping involves boot is basically the money which is given by the person himself. Matlab, that means bootstrapping is boot is basically using your own money in the business. You are not using anybody else's money in your business. They call the money which I would invest is called boot. Bootstrapping is when I am using the money exclusively for my, this is owner's capital. Owner's capital is also called boot. Boot capital, bootstrapping is basically using owner funds. Okay? We are using the funds of the owners in this case instead of debt. So in this case, this would be the answer. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Office Adda 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia Bhatnagar, and I'm with you with the area of ABFM. Okay. Today I'm continuing with the area of startup finance. In the last class, we had started with the topic of startup finance, where no, it has been almost 2-3 classes. So in all these classes, I've covered this topic in a very extensive manner, where we have covered the topic of what do you mean by startup finance, then what are the sources for that, what is the process, and then we have also covered the area of various uh, awards that have been covered in this area. Not only awards, but the schemes and even hackathons and other details as well. The challenges, the schemes that has been introduced by the government. Then we did the portion of the income tax exemptions that has been there. Today I'm continuing with that area of exemptions further and talking about the remaining area. So here comes the next question. We have talked about 56 to 7b earlier as well. 56 to 7b is under OS, that is other sources, which is related to the startups there. Only startups have been allowed to record their shares at a value which is higher than face value, fair value of the goods, not the face value, but the fair value of the particular shares. And there is no further taxation on that, while for others, it is taxable. So we have talked about this particular topic now. So what would be the answer in this case? How is the eligibility for exemption under 57, section 5627B determined for startups? How is it determined, everyone? How is it determined? Is it based upon by random selection? Really? Obviously, when we talk about this area, this point is definitely out of the window. Okay? First is by random selection. That doesn't happen. Based on political affiliation, that can be the point. Through self-declaration or by conducting a financial audit. So, first point is ruled out. We can have political affiliation also ruled out, because political affiliation is also not something which you'll find in terms of income tax. This point is also out of it. We are learning the area of elimination method. In terms of in terms of income tax, do you file your own return? We file our own income tax return now. So when we are filing our own income tax return, that means in this case, first one thing is clear, that is it is based upon by through self-declaration. You file your own return and they rely on it. Until unless there is a glitch, they will try to contact and will make sure about it. This is through self-declaration. Now comes the next point. Oh, the next point says that what is the primary reason for double taxation on the in context of DTAA? ESOPs. That is double taxation on ESOPs. That is employee stock option plans or employee stock option scheme. ESOPs is all the same. Basically, now, what is the primary reason when we are putting the particular area? It is in context with taxation at the time of exercise, taxation at the time of sale, taxation at the time of grant, or taxation at the time of vesting. Acha, exercising is that I have taken up the courses. I have taken up the ESOPs or employee stock option plans where stocks are available to me at the point of time where I choose. Okay. Sale is when I am selling it to someone else, or grant is when they have given it to me, then they were granting it, but they were giving the option there. Investing is for the period I am holding the ESOS, that I would be eligible after this much amount of time, so I'll wait till that time. So in this case, what would be the answer? In this case, the answer would be exercise. A. Okay? Answer is taxation at the time of exercise. Then comes the next point, everyone. How long an employee can delay paying taxes on ESOPs according to the budget of 2020? So since this was given in the area of Macmillan book, so we are following as per the area. In terms of 2020, how till what level or how long could you delay it? Normally, you can have a delay of maximum 3 years. Sorry, it is actually 5 years. Okay. Then when we talk about ESOPs can be there can be a delay in terms of taxation up to 5 years. Then what is the revised turnover criteria for eligible startups? But startups are also eligible for tax holidays. Tax holiday means up to 5 years, 50% taxation up to the next 5 years. There would be no, there is no taxation up to 5 years and then 50% after a certain period of time. Right now, when we talk about ATIC, it says that you can have consecutive no tax in terms of consecutive 5 years. You choose that in the first 10 years, you choose a specific year. From that particular year till the next 5 years, you will not have to pay any taxation. So, when we talk about the criteria, what is the criteria for ATIC? 25 crores, 50, 75, or 100 crores? What's the answer? When I talk about this area, the answer is 100 crores. For Section 80 IAC, this is 100 crores. How many consecutive years can eligible startups can claim under 80 IAC? 2 years, 3 years, 5 or 10? So in terms of 80 IAC, na, it is not 5 actually, it is actually 3 currently. Okay. Consecutive years means continuous years. If you choose this year, then for the next few years, it can be taken up. Done, everyone? This is actually for overall 3 out of 10 years. You have to choose those 3 years where you want an exemption of 100%. And at the same time, under this, you should be having maximum 100 CR of your turnover there. So the answer in this case is 3 years. It is 3 years. Okay? 3 out of the first 10 years of the organization. Okay? And this was basically for all the organizations which were incorporated from 2016 financial year to 31st of March 2021. That means at this point of time, yeah, it has stopped. But ATIAC has covered a lot of organizations, a lot of startups have been able to get this particular benefit. Very. Next question. When we talk about 54 GB is covered under this is basically based upon the era of income tax again. This is based upon the era of income tax in terms of um, 54 GB is covered under capital gains. Then at the same time, when we talk about this era, this particular section 54 GB, how I learned it, I can let you know about this. In terms of Hindi, it is actually GB. है ना? I learned it as a घर बेचकर business बनाया. मतलब घर is basically your home. So basically you sold your home so that you can build up your business. Way of learning, there are multiple sections which we have to learn. So matlab in your examination, obviously the number of sections to learn are lesser, but in our area in the field of commerce, you need to know all the sections. So since I had to learn a lot of sections from this era, so I learned it this way. Under section 54 GB, what must be the net consideration for the sale of residential property for be used for घर बेचकर बिजनेस बनाना, यानी आप यू आर सेलिंग योर selling your valuables to get a particular business. So basically, what are you getting? The residential property that you have sold, you will buy what out of it? You will purchase a luxury car? No, it is not for investment of gold or vacation of expenses. It is you sold your house so that you can build up your business. So the correct answer is C. It is actually true. Okay? The answer is subscription in the equity shares of an eligible startup. Correct? Now comes the next point. Let's look at it. Here comes the next question. I hope it is visible right now. If it isn't, so let's look at it. To carry forward the business losses in the event of qualifying startup, what conditions must be met? The loss must be incurred within 3 years of incorporation. At least 75% of the voting power must be the same. Then continued 51% of holding should be there for at least 7 years, or there is no condition for carrying forward cost. Carrying forward losses is basically you faced a loss and that is available for the next people as well. है ना? So in this case, what are we going to do? In this case, see the original people who were the one who actually faced the loss should be there na. Only then we can cry, Array, we faced a loss at that point of time now, so kindly give us some kind of relief out of it, right? So in this case, what would it be? A continued 51% shareholding or holding the same number of shares for the next 7 years. You should be there in that particular organization for the next 7 years. Only then we can consider ki nahi, this particular organization faced a loss and then we should give them a relief. Carry forward means last year the organization faced a loss of 8 lakhs. Okay, and then they were cribbing about it. This year they made a profit of 2 lakhs. Then say this is the first year, then in the second year they also made a profit of 4 lakhs, and then they faced a loss of 3 lakhs again. So in this case, carry forward is basically whatever loss was there. If you are having a profit, it can be set off against the same. So if you had a -8 and now you had used it for 2. So that means you are reducing 2 lakhs. Now this year your profit or loss overall for the income tax department would be 0. So you don't have to pay a penny for that. You can cry ki arey, this year we got 2 lakh now. We have just recovered what we faced last year. So basically in this year we are done with 2 lakhs. We are left with 6 lakhs. Then the organization went for the next year. Then they are in credit. Array, if we have made 4 lakh this year, pata hai sir, we faced a loss 2 years back. So we are still recovering from the loss. So that means it can cry about the 4 lakh rupees. As soon as it was done, it was like, "Ki chaliye, I have taken the benefit of this particular amount. Now we are left with 2 lakh." That is, now when you are left with 2 lakh of loss, you have gained another 2 lakh, 3 lakh of loss. So now your total loss is of 5 lakhs. So in this case, if the loss is of up to 5 lakh, you are answerable towards that point ki, are you still the same organization? If the same organization, same people are still sitting, then they can cry ki, pata hai sir, we faced a loss. So we deserve a particular set off or we deserve a particular carry forward because we are still there in the organization and we are deeply hurt by the particular losses that we are facing. So that is help. It is creating a lot of fuss for us as well. So that means technically I can cry about the fact that we faced a loss. But originally, the people who were there when this loss occurred, the same people, up to 51% should be there. Okay? Only then we can say कि नहीं नहीं, they have faced a loss and they deserve the particular thing. Okay? Then comes the next point. According to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, notified in September 2020, what is the maximum limit on deposits that a private startup company can receive from a single person, single tranche through a convertible note? As per MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, have given in 2020 the maximum limit of deposits a private setup can receive. The maximum limit of deposit a private setup can receive is 10 lakh, 25, 50 or 1 CR. What would be the answer in this case? In this case, the answer is 25 lakhs. Everybody who's there in the class, I request you all, please go ahead and let me know about the point there. Right? So if you're there in the class, please let me know. Chale. Now the answer is 25 lakhs. Next question, everyone. This is about initial public. This is related to Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. Seed Fund Scheme is basically what? See, seed is basically seed financing is when there's an idea and we are converting it into a materialistic thing that we are saying ki nahi. With this, I want to grow further my business. So let me know about it. It helps in to provide the to establish startups, to offer seed capital for new businesses, to conduct a proof of concept test, to assist startups in obtaining grants from the government, or to support startups in going public through the initial public offer. Primary purpose of Startup India is what? Actually, it works towards the to offer the seed capital for new businesses to conduct proof of the concept test. So in this case, the answer is going to be A, to offer seed capital for new businesses. Okay, it is going to be B. When does easy availability of finance become accessible for startups from angel investors and venture capitalists? See, easy finance is basically immediately upon incorporation. No, they don't come in the very beginning. They are like, especially venture capitalists, they will wait. You have gone something, and then you are saying, for example, Shark Tank India, you go to the particular organization, you tell them, Array, this is our profit, this is the particular organization. I built it. Now my organization is doing well. But now I'm like, this is not it now. I want to grow further. So what can I do about it? So that is immediately upon startup incorporation, after the startup has been in operation for 1 year, after the startup demonstrates a proof of concept, or only after startup goes public. No. When you're looking forward towards angel and venture capitalists, you have to prove your worth. You have to tell them that this business is not something which will not be able to survive on its own. We are strong enough, we can do this. So that's why they would be working upon this, right? So according to them, the answer is gonna be this way, that you will have to after you demonstrate the proof of concept. Shark Tank India says na, sir, show me your particular point. If you're going good only, then we can give you the finances. Then the answer is after the startup demonstrates proof of concept. What are the eligibility requirements for the startup to apply for Startup India Seed Fund Scheme? Must have been incorporated at least 2 years before, or must have been, they must have an idea or have a technology based upon this, or must not be recognized by DPIIT. When we talk about the area of eligibility requirements, now one thing is very much sorted, and that is when we talk about it, it should be based upon technology or a service. Okay? Startup India Seed Fund is based upon helping you in the inception of your business, but your idea should be stronger. No? It should be technology driven. And Startup India, Made in India, Make in India, all these things are coming with this particular concept only, that we are developing India on our own. We are not developing the things other way, but we are developing our own country. So this must have a technology based product or service. Next question. Why is seed capital crucial for startups in the early stages of business? See, how do saplings grow? If I have a particular plant, how does a plant grow? The plant will grow if the particular plant is getting good manures. It is in the beginning of its life, it is getting the nutrients which is required by it. You know? So basically, when you are trying to develop your business, why do we need it? But earlier there were not researchers. Pehle to it was like कि I'll make something na people will buy, because of the industrialization and all the organizations had become that way. Now they have to sit down and do some research. If I don't do the research, how will I sell goods to you? Now it is related to what there? To pay off existing debts, or to fund marketing companies, to conduct proof of concept test, or to acquire real estate for office spaces. So this is not the answer for sure. When we talk about the startups now, they are looking forward towards conceptual test and develop the prototypes of it. Because till the time they do not prototype and test those things, they cannot grow further. Seed capital is really very important when you are doing your researches and you want to build up your business. But you have to prove to the world now that your idea is very strong. Someday, when there were the phones when started, there was no need. The need was created. Right now, when we talk about it, there was no need in our country to have the tops and t-shirts, while we had our own attire already. So then it just generated the particular idea. No? But then for that particular thing, they also did a good number of tests and developed the prototypes of it. And people liked it, and then that continued further. So in this case, when we are talking about an organization which is starting itself, now they will always need this part. Okay? To conduct proof of the concept test and develop prototypes. Acha, here comes the question of reasoning and assertion, everyone. Let's look at it. Reasoning says each incubator. What was incubator, everyone? We have talked about incubator and incubatee. Each incubator applying for the Startup India Seed Fund scheme is required to form evaluation committee. The evaluation committee includes a diverse group of industry professionals to assess and select entrepreneurs for seed funding. Both assertion and reasoning are true, and both assertion and reasoning are true, but reasoning is not correct. Assertion is true, but reasoning is false. Assertion is false, but the reasoning is true. What would be the answer according to you? Incubator applying for Startup India's is required to form an evaluation committee. Yeah, they have to do this, but includes a diverse group of people and select entrepreneurs for seed funding. See, it has a lot of people in the. They have an evaluation company, but it what it includes is not the reason. The evaluation committee is set up to see whether it is fruitful or not, right? It is based upon that particular concept. So I would say that the first part is definitely correct, but the second is not the real reasoning about it. Okay? So in this case, the correct answer would be B. चलिए आगे. Now comes the next question. This question says, one of the members of the selection committee is representative of the state nodal startup nodal team. State government represents play a crucial role in selecting entrepreneurs for the seed fund scheme. When we talk about one of the members is yeah, basically na, in every of these organizations, if we do not have the state involvement there, how will we work further? है ना? For working further, we need to really work upon the particular areas, na? Done. So in this case, when we are working towards this area, state government representative play a crucial role. They do. So in this case, I would say the both are correct. Both the assertion and reasoning are true, and the reasoning is correct explanation of this. States have been playing an important role in startups. See, every startup which is coming, it is going to be beneficial for the state itself. Now, it is going to generate a good number of employment. So in this case, both of these are correct. The assertion as well as the reasoning. Okay. Next question. The involvement of the domain experts from academia and industry is essential in selection committee, and then domain experts can provide valuable insights and guidance in terms of startup proposals. So this happens everyone. When we talk about it na, the both would be correct. मतलब even if I go through the assertion and reasoning only na, you get the answer. Domain experts are what? मतलब if I am someone who is good with chemical compositions, as soon as you bring up your chemical composition, I check it and I say there are little slight improvements which are required. Why? Because okay, you are making some skincare products or some cosmetics products, and I said nay. Their cosmetic products are something which is damaging the skin. So we added a particular thing which we can say was added in terms of skincare as well. So when we were having this, was it as per the standards at this point of time? Was it meeting the particular paraben free or chemical free or those cruelty free products or not? If I have the specific domain idea, only then I can say, na. If I am belonging to the area of income tax or GST, then what I'll do is I will give the idea of from that my domain. If I know from the domain of production point of view, the units, the managing the entire part, then my working would be different. So domain experts are very important. Domain experts are can provide valuable insights and guidance. They can provide the guidance because they have the niche of that particular field. है ना? चलिए. Now, that's it for the day, everyone. I hope this particular session was helpful. But before I end my session, let's talk about our website as well. चलिए, let me show you our website further. If you haven't taken up our courses yet, what you need to do is you need to look forward towards our courses because we have come up with a lot of information there. So we are coming up with our Power Pack batch as well. Let's look at our Power Pack batch. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Neharka Walia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the area of ABFM. Chali, starting with the class today, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about startup finance further. So let's look at the questions. Comes the first question, everyone. The first question is related to the area of what is the primary objective of establishing innovation zones at the level of urban local bodies. So, we were talking about the innovation zone firms and all. Na? So, in the urban local bodies, why are we doing this? When we are doing this when the urban local bodies, it is because to increase tax revenue, to enhance the public service delivery and governance, to promote political campaigns, and then is to build houses. This is basically done in the urban local bodies for one particular purpose only, that is to enhance the public service delivery as well as the governance. We're trying to do this just to have this particular edge. Okay. Next question. What functions are assigned to innovation zones, everyone? Encourage wasteful spending, recognize challenges in citizen services, or reduce the quality of life for citizens, or promote bureaucracy? What would be the answer? What functions are assigned towards the innovation? The innovation zones are basically given the work to find out where are the challenges coming for the citizens, right? Recognize challenges in citizen services. Whatever services are being provided towards the citizens, how are we working upon those? Okay. Next question, everyone. How are challenges in citizen services addressed within innovation zones? How do they look forward towards the answers to these questions? In this case, the answer would be through how are challenges in the citizen services addressed within the innovation zone through traditional bureaucracy, through hackathons and grand challenges, or by reducing the budget or by ignoring the problems. These innovation zones have been looking forward to all these areas by hackathons and grand challenges. They have started using these hackathons. Hackathons is basically a kind of quiz contests where you come up with all these different startups would participate in it, and the ones with which are having unique area of working, which are showing an extreme good quality of working overall, are covered in this area. So hackathons and innovation challenges are basically not only helpful for them in terms of getting recognition, but these are also helpful in gaining money as well. They get finances through these, they get rewards through these, and this helps in their growth of the business ultimately. Because one thing is true, for the startups it's very difficult to attain a good amount of finance, because finance is one of the challenging areas. Along with that, they might be having talent, but they need to find the correct market too. Your target market should be very clear, and how do you enter that market should also be clear to you. If it is not clear to you, that is very scary part, isn't it? Chali, here comes the next question, everyone. The question says, what is the Startup India Showcase? What does it the Startup India Showcase, everyone? Startup India is basically some, I would say this is basically uh, a platform which is providing all the entrepreneurs who are new into this market and they're looking forward towards growth. But businessmen are always looking forward towards the area where they can show the growth in the market. They can look forward towards the growth. They can have something in the market which is way important for them. You know, Startup India is basically for all the new budding entrepreneurs who are new to the market and they're looking forward towards growth. So in this case, what are they providing? First is a physical exhibition of startups, a virtual platform featuring profiles of promising Indian startups, a government-led training program for entrepreneurs or startup funding event. What would it be? This is basically done with one sole purpose, that is, it is providing a virtual platform that is featuring a profile of promising Indian startups. So basically, all the Indian startups are showcased on the Startup India Showcase so that people can actually understand what different areas are available for them in terms of the startups and where they can put money or they can buy things from these startups. So they're basically giving a platform to all these startups. Next question. What is the purpose of Startup India Showcase? To discourage the innovation? Then this is absolutely wrong. Right? Second is to highlight innovation, startups, and various funding. Then to regulate the startup ecosystem or to restrict access to funding. So this won't be the point. It can be either of the two. So it has to be B. It will highlight innovative startups from various fields. Because what are we doing? We are doing showcasing. So whatever those organizations are, we'll be showing it to the market ultimately कि अच्छा, these are the organizations which are coming up and that's the growth that they are showing. ठीक है ना? What is the primary focus of Digital Demo Day in Germany? Showcasing agriculture innovations, promoting traditional industries, showcasing emerging technology startups, or celebrating cultural festivals. So the name itself states that Digital Demo Day is basically the day where they're showcasing their technology startups. There are different technology startups coming every single year now, and Germany is very renowned for this. German technology has been very much popular in the world in because of their sophistication, the neatness in terms of the technology, the productivity that comes out of it, the machinery that they are using, and innovation is constant there, right? There are so many things that we still buy from Germany, and there are so many renowned companies from the Germany which are serving the entire world, right? So that's why if you talk about this particular organization, this particular country, so they are celebrating Digital Demo Day so that they can showcase the various startups. Everyone, startups require a specific area for exposure. So whosoever gives it, the government gives it, a specific days allotted, quizzes allotted, hackathons and all. These are just a way of having a proper startup. Then, which of the following technology areas are emphasized? Agri and virtual reality and augmented reality. This is very new in the market, right? It's absolutely new in the market. Then, next would be food and beverages, and last is tourism and hospitality. What is this related to? A digital demo day. Basically, now over the period of time, they have become very much interested in virtual reality as well as the augmented reality, right? So in this case, what would be the correct answer? In this case, the correct answer would be virtual reality. and augmented reality. So VR and augmented these are basically, I would say, this is another world altogether, which has been recently developed, and at the same time, it is gaining a lot of popularity over the bit of time, and there is a lot of scope in terms of growth in virtual reality and augmented reality. Okay, the answer is virtual reality and augmented reality. Okay. Now the people have started looking forward towards various ways. They have started thinking about opening business in VR and AR and the different areas. This is another, I would say, this is third world ultimately, where you will find all the things similar to our real world there, right? So in the past few years, this popular thing is gaining a lot of popularity, not only in one particular area of the world, but all over. Okay, so here comes the next question. What is the main goal of animal husbandry startup grand challenge? To promote technology startups in Germany, to promote the fashion industry, or to encourage innovative solutions in animal husbandry and dairy, or the last one is to improve uh, automotive technology. What is the main goal of animal husbandry startup grand challenge? It would be to encourage innovative solutions in animal husbandry and dairy. It would be C. Okay. Basically, it is done for the basic purpose of coming up with innovative solutions for animal husbandry and dairy. Basically, what has happened is over the period of time, dairy farming has been commercialized to a very great extent. Animal husbandry has become very extensive area again. So in this area, what are they dealing with? Dairy farms, how are they solving the problems related to the poultry farms, dairy farms, and all those areas that are working upon, right? So then, in terms of this is not a part of poultry more, or this is more of animal husbandry and dairy area. So then, in terms of milking the cows, preservation of the milk, and how are we taking care of the cows? What are the particular areas where we can develop and make the things better? That would be the point. Now, so in this case, the answer would be C, to encourage innovative solutions in animal husbandry and dairy. Okay. What is the focus of Ayushman PMJAY Startup Grand Challenge? What would be the particular focus of Ayushman PMJY Startup Challenge, everyone? When we talk about this specific Ayushman Bharat is basically a particular area related to the um, study of in terms of medicines, hospitality. And that is basically the area of not hospitality but hospitals and all. This is based upon the area of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So that is the part of PMJAY. In this area, they're talking about the Health Authority of India, right? So National Health Authority is basically the one which is taking care of the PMJAY. So this is related to the Ayushman has been introduced for opening up various dispensaries in the local areas, right? In terms of homeopathic, in terms of allopathic, all those homeopathic, allopathic, as well as there are a few more of those which are recognized by them, and those particular healthcare is available, healthcare facilities are available under this. So this does not promote fashion textile. Develop innovative solutions for healthcare. That can be the point, because other than healthcare, it doesn't talk about anything else. So agriculture and farming, it doesn't talk about that. Even tourism and hospitality is not the one. In this case, they're talking about hospitals. What kind of medical treatments are available for all these people? So this is developing innovative solutions for the healthcare. In which fields are startup primarily invited to participate in Ayushman PMJAY Startup Grand Challenge? Fashion industry, digital health, hospital services. This is actually the similar question that has been just created. This is basically, I would say, paraphrasing of the question further and more detailed question is this one, right? So in this case, what would be the answer? Answer is B again. This is related to the area of digital health, hospital services, as well as medical workforce training. And next question, everyone. Another grand challenge. This is textile grand challenge. Why was this initiated? Why was textile grand challenge initiated? To promote the automobile industry, to encourage innovation in the textile and clothing industry, to support the construction industry, or to boost the mining sector. Yeah, this one is a little too direct. Otherwise, I would say such kind of areas can be twisted further. When we talk about textile grand challenge, now this is to encourage innovation in the textile and clothing sector. It can also be said that export more, to import less, import substitution of the clothing. So they can make it more typical as well by introducing more points related to the area of specific textile. We have to remember these are in the field of innovation. Startups are working solely for the purpose of bringing something new in the market because there are so many problems in the market and they want to become the reasons who are solving the problems, है ना? It is way too important that we do all these things in our businesses. ठीक है ना? So in this case, the correct answer is textile industry. Next question. There are certain exemptions which are given under the area of income tax for all the various startups. So what are they about? First is 56 to 7B. Basically, 56 to 7B is covered under the head of other sources. In terms of income tax, I hope you know there are overall 5 heads. That includes first is salary, second is house property, third is business, PGPP, fourth is capital gains when you sell an asset or when there's a liability further. So in this case, what would be the answer? To encourage the generation of unaccounted money, to discourage tax evasion through the share subscription, then to promote tax evasion or to lower the fair market value of the shares. What would be the answer in this case? In this case, the correct answer would be to discourage the tax evasion through the share subscriptions. Under section 56 to 7B, if the subscription price of the share exceeds the fair market value, how is this excess value treated for the company in the applicable fiscal year? It is not considered as income, it is treated as a capital gain, it is included in the company's revenue under income from other sources, or it is tax deductible. What would be the answer in this case? Under section 56 to 7b, if the subscription price of the share exceeds their fair market value, how is this excess value treated for the company? See, when we talk about one specific fiscal year now, what happens is in terms of subscription, sometimes what they are doing, the companies are doing this, that they show the fair value of the particular shares more than what their value is. So when there's difference in the fair values, what do we do about it? So we have to make sure that the fair value of the share is not shown in a different manner altogether. है ना? So what they are showing is the fair value of the share is more than their actual value. So what will the in income tax do? It will try to remove this particular point. When they are trying to remove this particular point, what will we do? It is treated as a capital gain? No. It is treated as a company's revenue under income tax other sources. That is where we'll put it, because 56 to 7b is totally related to OS only. It is not related to anything else but only other sources. It is included in the company's revenue under income from other sources. Just a moment, please. What exemption is granted to startups under Section 5067B in relation to the issuance of shares at higher price than the fair market value? Exemptions from all taxes, exemption from capital gains, exemption from income tax, or exemption from corporate tax. What exemption is granted to startup under Section 5627B? When we talk about the startups there now, startups has been given the exemption from income tax in case of issuance of share at a higher price than their fair market value. They are only allowed. Otherwise, other than startups, nobody else is allowed to have this thing. If any company is trying to give this share to at a value greater than their book value, ठीक है ना, then in such a case what will we do? We will be doing one particular thing there. If there's a book value and there's a face value, in this case one thing that we'll be taking care of is that if the company is showing that it has a higher value, it is basically trying to misguide people, है ना? So in this case there would be an issue. So what will they do about it? When the book value and the face value is having a mismatch, in that case what will they do? They will say that you are trying to sure value more than your actual value, so you are misguiding the people. So whatever the amount of difference is, we will charge it to other sources. But in case of startups, they said if you are doing this, we will not put any tax on you. So that is, they have an exemption from income tax in this area. Okay, there's an exemption from income tax in this area. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Chali, today we are starting with actually we are continuing with the area of startup finance. Okay, so in terms of startup finance, we have studied the basic theory, the basic schemes which have started. Now we are moving forward towards the next area. Let's talk about the question. The first question says, how has the process of incorporating a company in India changed in February 2020? Now it takes around 10 days to incorporate a company. Then it takes around the number has increased from 3 to 10. Normally, if I talk about the entire area, we have definitely reduced the number of days. Rather than increasing now, we have reduced the number of days. So this means uh, one thing is clear, it can be 10 days, but it can be also less than 10 as well. है ना? So let's begin with the particular topic. When we are answering a question like this, first of all, when we talk about this arena, they have reduced the number of days. When we talk about reducing the number of days, it now takes 10 days to incorporate. Normally it has been reduced further. It is actually currently 4. Okay? The correct answer is the number of days required has been reduced from 18 to 4. Done? So move on to the next question now. Acha, this is another programmer. What is the objective of Women Capacity Development Program or WING? See, the point is WING was developed for the portion that, as you know, that male entrepreneurs are working more. The female entrepreneurs are less in number. है ना? To reduce awareness of women-led business, to increase the number of male entrepreneurs, or to provide training and support for women-led business, to limit the participation of women in business. What would be the answer in this case? What is the objective of women? Sorry, the wing there. See, the point is the number of women entrepreneurs is very less. Their way of working is very, very limited as well. So in this case, the correct answer would be C, to provide training and support for women-led businesses. Okay? So in this case, the correct answer will come out to be the businesses which are led by women. How many capacity development workshops had been carried out in different states as of May 2021 under the WING program? 5 workshops, 9 workshops, 15 or 21. These are somehow data based questions as well. So what they can do is they can actually give a specific case study on WING, which is in